Hello everyone. Today I'm going to give a brief presentation about the project concept that we developed during our final year. So as you can see, this is a general construction scenario where you have the project owner, builder, the architect, the consultant, the MEP consultant, execution team, and you have the governing authorities as well as a few other agencies. So here what you can see is that these people are all linked up and they consider themselves to be a team, and over here the government or the other agencies involved in regulation are considered to be the external agencies, and much of the data or the actual process or the actual project plan is not being shared properly, and this leads to a lot of problem in the sanctioning phase as well as the maintaining law and order and the town planning of the city. So let me just brief you about the entire process. What happens is that over here, first when you start a project, and if the project owner wants to start the project, he will first hire a consultant, an architect, a consultant, MEP consultant, and an execution contractor. So he first gives his ideas or the vision that he has to the architect and gets the architectural detail prepared from him. Once the architectural detail is prepared, the BIM model of that detail is also prepared simultaneously. So now this BIM model is given to the consultant, who prepares the RCC detail of that BIM model itself. Now once this RCC detail is done, the two models are forwarded to the MEP consultant, who then prepares the MEP drawing of that project. So what happens next is that for a city to work, like you need to get the execution plan and the concept sanction from the government. So what we did here is that we devised a system platform where the builder or the owner has to initiate a process. So first he need to register the project and and let the system know who all are involved in this project, like registering the architect, the consultant, and the MEP person, or any other agent that is working on the project. Now next part is the commencement, where he'll have to upload his documentation process and for the scrutiny by the government. Now next part over here is that models will be uploaded by the architectural BIM model, the RCC BIM model, and the MEP BIM model shall be uploaded to the system, which is accessible by the government itself. So what will happen here is that under the PMC or the governing authority, there are two basic factors, I guess, and one is the engineering department and the other is assessment. So over here the assessment department will actually study the drawings and other stuff, while the engineering department will check the model for its compliance with the regulation purposes. So the next part over here is that once everything is clear, like everything fits into the drawing, the model needs to obtain clearances from the other agencies, which are here as forest, electricity, environment, water supply, sanitary, and fire department. So these agencies will then provide their consent of the project, if the model the assigned project is appropriate or not. Once all these NOCs are obtained, the model will be forwarded for scrutiny. The scrutiny shall be done based on the algorithm required for the sanctioning process, as it's being currently done by auto DCR processing. Next, once this model is cleared, the work can proceed. So the work execution certificate is awarded to the owner, and he can just now start the work by getting the execution team into action. So these people will the execution team into action. These people will refer the models that are being put over here in the system, then prepare an execution plan, like the time and duration, and what if they are planning to work on any active process, like if they are planning to change any drainage line or add any water supply line. So they'll prepare execution plan so that the authorities can make provisions as per their plan, so as to have an easy execution, like they'll turn down the water supply or make some alternative provisions for water supply using some other maintenance or service lines. So once the execution is being in process, like once the execution is in process, there are few phases that we need to check in, like the plinth completion, the slab checking, and the completion certificate. So while on plinth level, the engineer could actually verify the work if it's done by proper, like as per the BIM model, how the model says it and how it is done. So here just there will be no modification, like you can just verify if it's everything is as per the model itself. So once everything is correct, the a certification shall be provided at these positions. And as this is a BIM model, it's having a higher level of detail. As this model is a BIM model, it's having a high level of detail. So all the details, like your offset from roads, the center line, and the other elements like detail of walls and other elements are available with the model itself. So this is how the entire system will work out. Now let's talk about what are the benefits of having this system in place. You can see, as you can see, the model is uploaded to a system, and this system is accessible by the government. This system is accessible by the government, and as you are aware that all the changes that happened throughout the construction process have been logged in this model itself. So here we can implement the artificial intelligence and big data. Like this process will be done anonymously, like all the people uploading their data will have and the data will be stored on the server itself. Once the data is available, the machine learning algorithm shall allow to work on the process that data and learn about the different patterns of designing, and how the city development is happening, and what are the possible benefits we could obtain, or what possible modifications we can do, like if the process of the project should be sanctioned or not, or there should be some modification necessarily being made to the model. So once you have this model, the other part is that we can design buildings to be eco-friendly. Like if the entire model is all the models are being submitted prior to the construction, then eco-friendly and locally available material can be deployed for the project construction. And another part that I like most is the availability of like disaster management areas. Like if the models are being uploaded and the models exist on a central server, the data will be available and can be mapped on a GIS platform, which can later be used and under times of disaster, like earthquakes, tsunamis, or even man-made disasters like wars or any kind of co-op or something like that. So as it is a BIM model, it's having a higher level of detail and more information than a traditional 2D plan. So it will be simple for the people to conduct a stress analysis and prepare stress contours of the entire city. So it will be a complete it will be like as we say these days, data is the new oil. So it will be like the new oil that feeds the artificial planning of a city. Like even while sanctioning the new project, the officer would have suggestions from the system itself, like this will be the impact on environment, then this is the social impact of the project over here, like this will be the water requirement or any electricity requirement of the project. So this is just a small overview or walkthrough of the entire project that we did. We actually conducted a few feasibility studies, and would be sharing the details of the study in a few in a few days. It's a few days or so. So let us know in the comments how what are your views about the project, and if what are the possible factors that we should consider while implementing. I know that this system lacks in a few ways, like privacy is a big issue under this system, like, but I guess we can work over it by using encryption and other features. Another important aspect of this project is that over here, while the verification of works, we've observed that in a lot of construction scenarios or case studies, there is a lot of chance of corruption by the officers. So if this system is being logged over here, the officers' credentials are also being updated, so we know who sanctioned what amount of project. And another thing is that as we have execution team over here, we also can incorporate the testing laboratories who would just test the suppose you casted a beam and the detail of the beams are available, and tested the concrete compressive strength of the beam or the steel of the beam, then this steel can be directly directly linked to the model. And if the person, or if you or I am buying the flat, I would have the property, I would have the exact detail of what type of material is used in the construction, what is the strength that material would have, what is the thermal capacity capabilities, and what are the weather reactions that the material would have in certain atmospheric conditions. So thank you for watching. Just let me know in comments what are your views about the project.